Hello, it's Judith here with this week's video and something just a little bit different this time. In the plan, I was going to talk about hypnosis and hypnotherapy, and quite by chance something popped up on my iPad about AI, and I thought, I have been thinking for some time I really ought to be looking at this because it is the way of the future. So I thought, okay, I'll just ask it about hypnotherapy and see what the answer comes up. And I have to say, I am very impressed and pleasantly surprised. So I'm going to read you what it said, and I'll probably intervene a little bit. And I also asked a question about whether it is safe, because that's often some people's concern. So this is what... it was a form of Chat GPT, whatever. Anyway, it shows how much I know. I don't even know what they're called. But here's what it answered. Hypnotherapy is a type of complementary therapy that uses hypnosis to help individuals address various issues such as anxiety, stress, phobias, pain management, and even habits like smoking or overeating. During a hypnotherapy session, a trained practitioner guides a person into a relaxed, focused state of mind, often referred to as a trance. In this state, individuals may be more open to suggestions, which can help facilitate change in thoughts, feelings, and behaviours. Now, that is absolutely spot on. I mean, the guy I trained with would probably object to the word state, often referred to as a trance or state. But apart from that, it is what I say, only put probably more succinctly and more formally. But definitely making people more open to suggestions which can help make changes in thoughts, feelings and behaviours, which is exactly what I do. This is brilliant. It's important to remember, I'm back to the chat response, that while many people find hypnotherapy helpful, it may not work for everyone and should ideally be conducted by a qualified professional. Well, I can reassure you all, if you didn't know already, that I am a qualified professional. So the answer to the question, is it safe, is hypnotherapy is generally considered safe when conducted by a trained and certified professional. Most people experience relaxation and stress relief during sessions. Exactly spot on again. You know, yes, you need to be trained and you need to be certified, which I am. And yes, people pretty much always say after the first session how relaxed they are. And given that the people that I generally work with, that is a big plus in itself, because for working with people with stress or anxiety or even with fears and phobias, they are quite anxious and to find it very difficult to relax. And that very first session shows them that they can relax and provides them with a way to relax. Okay, what's next from the Chat AI? Some important points to keep in mind. Qualified practitioner, crucial to choose a licensed or certified hypnotherapist, which I am. Their training and experience can significantly impact the safety and effectiveness of the session. Absolutely, I would agree. If you're looking for hypnotherapy, please make sure they're qualified and ideally have some reasonable amount of experience. I'm into double figures. I can never remember whether it's 11, 12, 13 or 14, but it's somewhere around that level. Second point then, individual reactions. People may react differently to hypnosis. While many find it calming and helpful, some may feel uncomfortable or anxious. I have had the odd client who has struggled to get into hypnosis. In most cases, we've eventually managed it. What I think is key is that you set expectations first about what it's going to be like, and you allay people's fears and concerns. So you do allow time to answer questions so that the person knows what to expect. Setting expectations is hugely important. So if you go and see a hypnotherapist and they just say, right, lie down here, I'm going to put you into hypnosis, then you've probably chosen the wrong person. Pre-existing conditions. If you have severe mental health issues such as certain personality disorders or psychosis, hypnotherapy, it says, may not be appropriate. I was trained that I wasn't trained to deal with these psychotic disorders. I can only work with what's known, and this is not the normal use of the word, but a scientific use of the word, with the neurotic mental health conditions like anxiety and depression and fears and phobias. So absolutely not. There are very good reasons not to deal with the psychotic mental illnesses, where people often have difficulty maintaining contact with reality and generally need to be medicated and very carefully monitored and managed. So there are therapies out there for them, and there may be people who are experienced dealing with those sorts of disorders who would use hypnosis, but that's not me. Informed consent. A reputable hypnotherapist will discuss the process with you, ensuring you understand what to expect. Absolutely, already said that. I start setting expectations in the initial consultation I do on the phone, and I spend time in the first session, and on both occasions allow opportunities for people to ask questions and address any concerns. Back to the chat response, and that you consent to the process. Yes, I have a consent form. People have to sign it before we start work in the first session. If you're considering hypnotherapy, it's natural to have questions or concerns. It can be helpful to discuss these with a professional during an initial consultation. And absolutely, on the very, very rare occasion where somebody's been to me, certainly if somebody's been to me before, I wouldn't have an initial chat unless I needed to know about what was going on with them at this point in time. I have occasionally taken on a new client, particularly for something like stopping smoking or weight loss, without talking to them. But my preference is always to have that chat. Not mentioned here because I haven't asked the right questions, and I'm sure that's very important. The two factors that determine success in terms of the hypnosis experience and the hypnotherapy effectiveness are, firstly, the fact that the person is happy with it and comfortable with it and has some belief, even if it's a tiny seed of a belief, that hypnotherapy is going to help them with whatever we're working on. And the second one is how comfortable are they working with me? It can be a very, very personal relationship for a short period of time, and you have to be comfortable working with and talking to the person that you're seeing for hypnotherapy. And again, that initial conversation starts that process, but I always say to all of my clients, we'll just book the first session, and at the end of that, when you've heard more from me and you've experienced me and you've experienced hypnosis, then I will ask you if you think it's right for you, and if you think I'm right for you, and if you want to come back again. So giving people a chance of that initial experience before committing to any number of sessions. So, well, thank you very much to the chat thing. I don't know what to call it. And as I say, I am going to be using this more. I won't necessarily read it out to you. I've just got a little bit overexcited that it had come up with the right answers. So I wanted to share it. But I can see there being use in this in, deciding exactly what to say in a video, or writing a blog, or writing a Facebook post. So yeah, at the moment, I'm a convert and convinced. I'm sure it has its limitations, as we all do. Nothing or nobody is perfect, but yeah. So if you are considering it, and you have any questions, I'm very happy to answer those questions, even if for whatever reason you decide not to come and see me and see somebody else. I'm happy to answer the questions, and happy to give anybody an experience of hypnosis if they're just curious. I've offered that one before, and it can be done surprisingly, not just face-to-face, but over online, over Zoom or whatever software we choose to use. And I wasn't personally convinced about that until COVID and lockdown made it an absolute necessity for me to continue working with people. And I was quite surprised at how effective it was. I think marginally I and most of my clients prefer it face-to-face. But that's a very personal decision. It works equally well online, and I've had some very successful outcomes doing it online. And certainly, if you just want an experience, doing it online is probably quicker and cheaper than coming to see me. Okay, right. If you have any questions, then you know where I am. If you'd like to know more or experience hypnosis just because you're curious, then you also know where I am. And, well, I shall be looking at the chat app again next week for the topic of the week, but I may well process it before I come to you rather than just reading it out to you. But that's me for this week. Take care of yourself as always, and I'll see you next week. Bye.